Hey, welcome everybody.
Good evening.
It's 2021.
Finally.
Yeah, I know, finally. Yeah. It's been tough, this whole getting through 2020 and even with 2021, and I'm still got great plans for this year. But I'll be the first one to admit, man, I'm getting a little tired of just being at home all the time.
I know, me too.
I love you and my time with you, but I'm ready for us to get out.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were ready to go and be away from me for a little bit.
No.
You've had a little bit too much Rhonda time.
No, we're going to talk about that next week, actually. We've started to argue, but we're going to talk about that next year. So
we started arguing 20-something years ago.
Yes, but nothing like the past couple of months.
Well, it's a different kind of arguing.
But I miss people. I want to get out. I'm ready. I mean, just give me that vaccine and just let's get through this. I mean, just every week, I see, just all these people, we do this thing and I look at the comments and, I see Jessica. She just seems like she's there every week and I want to see her and I want to see her girls and Cherie and, I want to travel. I'm ready. I want to go to San Diego and see your co-workers and
your
ex co-workers,
because I retired, right?
You retired, but I want to see Krista. She comments all the time, and Danelle, and I want to go down to Bakersfield. We used to go to Bakersfield when you'd have to drive down there. We'd be like, oh, we're going to Bakersfield. I want to go to Bakersfield. I want to see Leroy. I haven't seen that guy in so long, and now we just message all the time.
Or maybe Leroy can come up here because Bakersfield's kind of stinky.
It's kind of stinky, but we'd get used to it in just a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we could go somewhere else.
I'm always used to it, so we could. I want to go down to Paul Martin's and have dinner
with Robert and Janice again.
I know. And that lady you met on the airplane a long time ago, she watches this thing all the time.
Michelle. Yeah.
Yes,
I know.
I want to see her.
Talked to her one time for about an hour and a half.
The lady we met on the train.
Oh yeah, Linda.
Yes. I mean, we just got stuck, and I'm ready to go to Texas. I want to go to Texas and see a couple of friends in Texas. One of them I've never met, and one of them I don't get to see, and since the wildlife stuff, and so I'm ready. I mean, let's get through this. I want out of this house and off this property and out being with people. I mean, the most of my life I didn't like people. I don't want to be around people. And then God changed me.
Whatever.
No, it was. And then God changed me.
When was this? Like at 2 years old?
No. It's recent that I became this people person, and I miss the people at my work and just all these people. I mean, I see people comment, just somebody from another office. I'm like, oh, I want to go see these people.
You need to be back with your work people.
I do. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm sure Brian misses you a lot.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, he probably misses you more than anybody else does.
All of them, yeah, I'm sure they do. They probably, hey Steve. So, I don't practice what I'm going to talk about. We practice the songs a little bit, and I practice. Means we sit around and critique each other as we try to play them. We did try to play this stuff yesterday, and I'm going to tell you.
He told me, no, we're going to need to change songs because, Rhonda, I don't think you can do it.
It wasn't happening yesterday. I wasn't playing it. It wasn't as much my guitar as it was your vocals, but it did not happen yesterday. We walked out of here just thinking, maybe our time's done. So, but we prayed about it and thought about it and introspection. We did some introspection.
Yep,
so it's going to happen today. But I don't practice what I want to talk about, but I needed to think it through enough times that I could talk about it without crying. And I know probably everybody on Facebook knows that, we're in this new year, except for on New Year's Eve, my brother died. And I didn't, he lived down in the valley and I don't get to see him a whole lot. But of course, he and I grew up together out in the middle of nowhere on this big ranch, 2,000 acres. And so we were very, very close. And, just the thought of him not being here anymore it's hard, to think about. But since that day, I've just thought about us out there on the farm and all the stuff we did, and the cousins. Man, we had so many cousins out there, and they were just as crazy as we were, and about our same age, and then friends from school, and it was a interesting time to grow up. And Rhonda said, well, you got to tell a couple stories about your brother. I said, man, there's no stories I can tell about me and my brother. They're all either us being ridiculously stupid or us being ridiculously dangerous, and typically both. So we got to come up with something. So I thought, well, I'll tell a couple stories about he and I, but I got to say this. It comes with a disclaimer. Do not do this at home. Do not try this at home. If you have kids in the room, send them out for a minute, because I don't want them to know.
Oh, or do you mean only do this at home when the wife's gone away on business?
No, that's a whole nother story. I never grew out of some of this stuff.
Yeah, Teresa and Levi probably have some stories.
They do. But if you got some kids, send them out of the room for just a minute while I tell a couple of these stories, because I don't want them thinking, Raj did that?
And lived.
Mr. Raj. So my brother died. He was 58 years old. And I think about these stories. I don't know how any of us made it to 58. I don't know how any of us out there on the farm, us, cousins, friends, made it to 18. I mean, it was just crazy. So listen to this. Here's what I'm talking about. This is one of the stories. And so we were 10 years old, in that range. My brother 2 years younger, a couple 2 years older, whatever. But I had gotten this bow, a bow and arrow. It was a fiberglass bow. It was beautiful. It was, I think, a 40-pound bow, something like that. And it was just pretty. I mean, it was this fiberglass, beautiful shape, and it had these blue lines in it. It was so, I don't even know where I got it. And so I shot arrows with it. And then we came up with this idea. How about this? I would take the bow and shoot it straight up as I possibly could, straight into the air. And we would watch it. And of course, if you shoot it straight up, it's going to come straight down. And then we would shoot it straight up and watch it. And then we would all scatter, and it would fall straight down and stick in the ground somewhere. And we're all running around. This was just crazy. Like, who comes up with this kind of stuff? Where was our parents? And so we had done this about 10 times. It's so fun. And then it happened. I shot it up, and it was a little bit off, and then it went up, and somewhere in the sun, we all lost sight of it. So we're all running, and as I'm running, I'm looking around, and I just catch a glimpse out of my eye of it coming down, and it looks like it's going to hit my brother in the head. And it did, at a little bit of an angle. And no kidding. It hit his head, it went through, it hit his skull, and veered, and then came out down here. So it went in the top of his head, and then it went around his skull, didn't go into his skull, and came out from his skin and stuck in the ground, and we all just froze. And I'm thinking, this is it. And he's looking around, and then a little bit of blood started coming out, and we all panicked and ran over. Got him, was like, you okay, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay, but it hurts. And we walked over to this was way back in the old part of the farm. There was still part of there used to be some barracks, and there was a bathroom and shower, and it had a faucet. We went over, and we just kept running water on his head and I don't know how it happened, but eventually it stopped bleeding. And then he was okay. I mean, just think how close that was. And somehow or another, he put on a beanie cap middle of summer so that nobody could see the blood matted in his hair. And we got through it. The parents never even said, hey, Steve, why are you wearing a beanie cap? And you got, this big old scab here and a big old scab. And so.
My guess is they didn't want to know.
They probably didn't. So the one other story, and again, don't try this at home. Okay, this stuff is just dumb. Okay, so I think we were a little younger than that, I think. And we'd seen something somewhere about, somewhere we got this idea, I'm not even sure how. But we went over to our barn, which was just a little ways from the house, and we sat on the ground. We sat a block and a 2x4, and then on the upside of the 2x4 we sat a Coke bottle, and got it just right so that the Coke bottle would sit there. And then we went on top of the barn, and it just took us forever. We dragged this big old railroad tie way up on top of the barn, and we just got it over to the edge, and we raised it up, and we got it right to the edge. Straight down was the 2x4 with the bottle sitting on it. And we kicked it off, and it fell straight down, and it hit the 2x4, and it launched that bottle straight up, like way up there. You could hear it pass by the barn, woo, 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 and way in the
how'd
air.
it go?
It went like woo, 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 woo. Way in the air. We watched it go way up there, and landed out in the pasture. Perfect. Let's do it again. So we climbed our way down from the barn, went over there, grabbed the bottle, set it all up again, and got that big old railroad tie. It took us like a half an hour or 45 minutes just to drag that thing up on top of the barn to do it again. Got it over to the edge, set it up, kicked it off, fell down, boom, launched that bottle like so far in the air. I think we did it 3 or 4 times, and it was still fun. So do it one more time. And we got over there and set stuff up, dragged that bottle up there, got it all set up, dropped it, and I could tell something was different this time. Instead of launching the bottle like this, it launched the bottle like this, and it went right by us. And I turned and looked. Okay, this is our house over here, and it went way over there. And it, oh no, it's going to hit the house. Well, it didn't hit the house. It hit on our only patch of concrete on the entire 2,000 acres, about a foot from my mom's Lincoln Continental, and just shattered on the concrete, about a foot away from her car. We stood there just watching. We're panicked, waiting until my mom just busted open that door, and then it was going to be on, and we're just standing there. If she was in the kitchen, she would have saw it happen. If she was in the dining room in the big window, she probably would have saw it happen. She would have at least heard it. If she was way in the back of the house in the bedroom, maybe we would get lucky. And we stood there watching, scared. She never came out. We stood there for about 2 minutes, and then cleaned it up. Man, we jumped down, we piled off this barn and ran over there and found a broom, started sweeping up all that glass, keeping an eye up there on the window, make sure she didn't see us, and cleaned up all the glass. When we were afraid to go in the house to get the dustpan, so we found something to get it on there. We got it all. Ran over and threw it in the garbage, and all good. Perfect crime. They would never know. So the next day, a couple of days later, whenever, so my brother had already taken off on his motorcycle. Hot day. My mom asked me, hey, come with me. She needed to go to town and do something. So I got in the car, sat down in the front seat. My mom put it in reverse, backed up about a foot, and psh, front tire flat. Just, you could feel the whole car just, and my mom looked at me, and we both got out and looked over there, and the tire rolled around, and the busted neck of that bottle was sticking out of the tire. And my mom looked at me. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I could not lie to my mom, although I could withhold information. I looked at it. I said, Steve busted a bottle out here. I tried to clean it up, but I guess I missed that part of the bottle that Steve busted out here. And my mom said, well, go find Steve.
Oh, mercy.
We ended up having to jack the car up and get the tire out of the back of that thing. And, anyway, it's middle of summer, we're both sweating, and we did change the tire. And Steve was pretty good about taking the brunt of it. So, but anyway, that was probably like one day of stuff I'm talking about. I mean, we did this stuff every day, all over 2,000 acres. Sometimes just the two of us. Sometimes with the Badwells, that's our cousins over there, and Bruce and Brian and Robert and Butch and I missed one, Paul and Brett, and anyway, just all of these relatives. It was just a mess. I don't know how we got to be past 20 years old or 15 years old. So.
I never did anything like that when I was a kid.
You didn't?
No.
I could see you being a little angel.
I was.
Yeah.
Maybe my dad won't watch this.
So I miss my brother already.
No.
Even though I wouldn't even get down there and see him, but I texted him and I'm glad that my sister was able to be with him at the end of his life. And you know, most of his life, from the time we were little kids till now, he had clouds. You know, he had clouds hanging over him. It was a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't talk about that, but he had clouds. But the thing is, I know where he is now. You know, that's the only way to kind of get through this, is knowing, you know, that blessed assurance. I know where he is, and I'm gonna sing a song about I know where he is. So he's at that land with the no more clouds. Oh, they tell me of a home far beyond the sky. They tell me of a home far away. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded sky.
Oh, they tell me of home when my friends had gone, and they tell me of that land far away, where the tree of life in eternal bloom sheds its fragrance through the unclouded day.
Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, they tell me of the King and his beauty. They tell me that my eyes shall behold, where he sits on a throne that is whiter than snow, in the city that is paved with gold. Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. They tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day.
Oh, they tell me that he smiles on his children there, and his smile drives the sorrows away. And they tell me that no tears ever come again in that lovely land of unclouded day.
Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day.
I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. In all my days, I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna move my stool on the way for this one.
All right.
Shame is a prison, as cruel as a grave. Shame is a robber, and has come to take my name. Well, love is my redeemer, lifting me up from the ground. Love
So, friends and family, everybody, we miss you guys. We're looking forward to
do.
seeing everybody, and one of these days soon, we're going to get out of here and we're going to be around and just get to love on people and looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
So, till then, though, we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye. Love you guys.
Love you.